Hey everyone, it's Amin, moderator of New York Neil Gallery 5th edition. It's a fantastic festival, and its mission is to spread art and to encourage through art. We continue our IG Live series, and I have my next guest. His name is Richie Valentino, and he will join us in a second from Australia. Richie, are you here? Let me invite you. Hold on. Stay there. Don't go anywhere. Richie is the director of an animated short film called Birds of a Feather. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Richie. How are you?
Great. It's quite early here, so still waking up, but not too bad.
Okay, so what time is it there?
5:30 in the morning.
Wow, amazing. And you are up for our IG Live interview. It's so touching. Thanks a
Oh, of
lot
course.
for joining. We are blessed to have you here on IG.
Bless you. Thank you.
Yeah. So, Richie, tell me, what inspired you to make your wonderful and beautiful animated short film?
Well, I just wanted to just show that the world is still kind within this.
Really? Are you
Well,
sure about that?
so many people look at the dark side of the world, and that's the reason why it's in a dark, rainy city. So to show that there's still brightness within a dark, area in your environment. And instead of just doing the day-to-day thing where you would use, say people, common themes, I thought I'd use the animals in the city, which obviously live there as well. And they're just basically trying to find what they can, scavenging, surviving, and you survive better if you can be together with each other and share things with each other and not be aggressive and angry and selfish. And it's basically a bit of that, just to show that we can be one if we work together. And if you don't
Mhm.
work together, you'll end up lonely and that's apart from the rest of the world, basically.
A path to nowhere, right?
Well, yeah, solitude. That's right.
Yes,
Exactly.
I want to say to our viewers that Richie Valentino is not just a great director, but also a musician. You did a soundtrack of your film as well.
Correct. I do. I've been playing music since I was about 16, so it's such a joy to put music together. It's always been a joy for me. So to do the soundtrack, I always do the soundtracks to the films that I make. Uh,
Same
it's
here. That's why I love, uh, you know, multifaceted talents like you. I'm the same, and hearing my music in all my projects, both on screen and on stage, is the most incredible feeling in the world. So I actually do everything to hear my music. So music is the first reason. And what about you? Like, what do you enjoy the most? Doing hand sketches, editing your films, directing, or writing original soundtrack for animated shorts.
See, that's a good question. They're all fantastic parts. I
But
just
something is more fantastic, trust me. Choose one. You have to choose.
I think the best part that I really get out of it is seeing the characters come alive and have personality,
Hmm.
seeing the movements, and the soundtrack definitely adds to their personality and character. But I think just to be able to come with an idea, sketch it, make the movements, and then see that character come to life in a way that you actually had an idea for. And sometimes they surprise me actually. I get they really do. I have an idea and I have a vision, and then once you do test reels and see the characters moving, you think, oh my goodness, look at that. It's actually funnier than I thought, or weirder than I thought. And sometimes when you are sketching because I don't use an eraser. I draw and then that's it. That's the final piece. So when you do that and you put things together, I think in the film, one of the dogs came out with a limp, and it wasn't meant to be intentional. But I thought the limp was fantastic because obviously he's surviving in the world, and something happened, and he survived the accident or whatever it could be to produce that limp. And so I wasn't going to take that out. That became part of the film and became part of the character. So things like that, I love that. I love that.
Naturally, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I
Um,
loved your dog's teeth. When it's like the dialogue between the dog and the crow is
yeah,
fantastic. And then like between two crows, like white and black, and they're
yeah,
like looking at each other. You see the conflict. It's incredible how birds talk to each other and how you express that in your film. And I love the colors also, red umbrellas, and I love the rain. And I know that you collaborated
yeah.
with Scott Robson, so watercoloring and backdrops done by him, right? So
Yes,
how does that work? So you present him a completed short, and he puts the rain like drops over it, like a voice
no,
over. How does that work? I want to know.
no. I did the storyboard. So yeah, you do your pages of the storyboard. He obviously, I live in Melbourne, Victoria. He lives in Tasmania. So there was no chance for us to come over or go over there and spend some time and then come back. It just wasn't functional. So I sent him the storyboard by email, and he started painting with ideas. Not necessarily what he saw on those storyboards, but ideas for that storyboard section.
Mm-hmm.
And then he would send those ideas back, and through what he painted, I would use those as backdrops, and I would use images of the umbrellas. But the rain itself, that had to be drawn in. So because the rain, it's movement and it's constant movement. So with
Mm-hmm.
animation and flow of animation, you can, I guess you could say, uh, cut corners a little bit by doing loops and repeating certain actions like walking and all that kind of thing. But with rain, you can't because it's always coming down. So every scene had to be visual. So it was a very long, enduring task to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But the effect was fantastic in the end. And I remember halfway through, editing the film, thinking, "Oh my goodness, what have I done to myself to to make rain happen on in a hand drawn sketch?" It's just it's such a lot of work. But I think Scott's artwork was just the clincher to really bring the mood, as well as obviously the soundtrack, like you're talking about, but to really bring the mood into that film. Just that palette that he actually chose a palette. Yeah, I just gave him ideas. He chose a palette because when you're collaborating with someone, you wanna get their skill in there as well, and and the way they portray what you're trying to tell them to do. So instead of being diligent to say, look, I want this, this, and this, I gave him
Mm-hmm.
a bit of open expression. That's what he came up with, and I loved it. It was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great result, and animation is collaboration. I think in any animated film, there are so many people working on it. It's impossible to make it on your own. It takes like forever, and you spend
Right.
like a few years to make one film. It's not just like a few months
Mm.
thing, right? Not many people know that. And I want to say about Mark Turner's work as well. So words collaboration was made with him, and the words we hear in the movie, like selfishness, right? Like so, these words were written by Mark, or how? How did you
Yeah,
collaborate?
I just wanted to get just another vision in there as part of the film, and And Mark's actually a musician friend of mine, and I just thought, well,
He
I'll just
picked
get.
the words.
Well, he did, yeah. I just said, look, just record a whole group of words that are part of the topics of being, selfish and greedy and happiness, and he just drew out a list and then recorded them basically, and from that I just sort of picked and choose the ones that fit into the film. There were more initially, but I simplified it a bit more just to give the film its own kind of story in itself. Sometimes a film without dialogue says more than a film with dialogue. So I thought I'd go that way instead, and it came up right. So yeah.
Yes, and it actually replaced subtitles, right? Because of selfishness. It's like that's what he meant here, right? So it's like a
Yeah.
underlining the message, right? Oh, what do you see? It's so cool. A few words, but like the most important ones. And I truly loved all the animals. And which animal character is your favorite?
I would have to say the sparrow, because the sparrow to me is like a Buddha.
Mm-hmm.
He's peaceful. He like the minute the sparrow comes into the film, it's love, it's energy, calmness. So I think that's definitely my favorite character. Absolutely. I
Mm-hmm.
love them all, but it's just the way the sparrow comes into the film is it's just a glow of energy. So it's every time I watch that, I kind of melt myself, which is it's great. So it's one thing to make the film, but another thing to still be able to keep on watching them and get the same energies out of it. So I had an exhibition recently of my all my artwork and the films, and uh, there was a big rooftop cinema where I showed the films as well, and just to sit there and sit with a whole group of people that I didn't know, just watching the film, and you can just feel the energy that they get, which I got, which is perfect. You can make a film and people can watch it and still get that same mindset energy that you tried, and the story that you
Mm-hmm.
tried to show and give out, you've succeeded. It's great.
Yeah, and the reactions are priceless. I mean, I always go to the screenings of my films just to hear the reactions of people. It's the most important thing. So they, look at the screen, and I look at them, how they react. It's always interesting, and it's always different. In every city, people react differently. Every crowd is unique itself. So you never get the same reactions for the same line even, right? For the same scene. It's always something unique in every town and every country. So
Mm.
I want to say to our viewers that you did three short films, and the title of the first one is so difficult. Correct me if I'm wrong. Cardioidosaurus.
Cardiorosaurus, yeah.
Yes,
Basically, it's
what's that? It's like, heart and dinosaurs together. Cardio.
well, it was a budget stop motion, which the Cardiorosaurus is basically yeah, Osaurus is basically dinosaur, and he was actually a microphone on a mic stand. So there's the cardioid, which is the cardioid microphone. So that's how
Yeah.
you got Osaurus out of it.
Yeah, I thought so,
So,
like, two words in one, but it was such a complicated title. I'm like, really?
well, when you're making your first films, anything, it's just all inventive. I mean, it always is inventive making films, but the
Mm,
first one is just very experimental, and that film actually was made initially for a competition, which regulated that could only be 6 minutes long, and when I finished it,
mm,
it ended up being 12 minutes long, and being filmed on a Super 8 camera where you had to send your cartridges over to Sweden to get developed and sent back.
mm,
And it took a month for the cartridges to come back. I had to film anything and everything that I possibly could because I had no idea what I was filming because it took so long. And then trying to cut the film down to 6 minutes became almost an impossible task. I got to 9 minutes and I thought, well, this film is already starting not to make much sense in itself anyway. So I ended up becoming a film clip. I did the music with a friend of mine who I was playing music with at the time. We thought, right, okay, let's forget about the film and the film story. Let's just make a film clip out of it.
Let's enjoy the soundtrack.
Well, it's a soundtrack with visuals. You know, it still has a basic story in there. It's quite dark, which I loved. You know, and actually a lot of people in the exhibition, chose that as one of their favorites, and which is fantastic because to me, it is a favorite. But I feel like others have more integrity and expression in them than that film. But yeah, it became a little loved film in itself. And we have a TV program that shows film clips called Rage here in Australia, and we entered it back then into, which was 1998, I think it was, into Rage, and they accepted it. So yeah, we got a message saying, yes, your video clip's going to be shown at 3:45 a.m. in the morning. So we stood up and watched it, and that was gold, to see that.
Of course.
But
I
yeah,
mean, this is
that's
something you can wake up early for.
well, we stood up for. Didn't go to bed. We're too excited. Yeah.
I see. And there was a ballet with Mikhail Baryshnikov, and he had cardio like all over his body, and you could hear his heartbeat while he was dancing. So like throughout the whole ballet, and it was so original. It's incredible. Like nothing like that, after him happened on ballet stage. And I remembered that when you said about cardio for dinosaurs. And your second short is called The Lamb, and you did it
Yeah.
in 2014, and it was presented at the Melbourne International Film Festival and also LA Shorts Film Festival. And
Yes.
the film we're talking about, The Birds of a Feather, is in competition of New York Neil Gallery's fifth edition. It's your third animated short. But I know that you are also working on a feature animated film, and
Yes,
you've been
correct.
working on it since 2010. Tell us about this project.
This feature, it basically is set in another planet, and of course, it's about energies and the energies of everything together in the planet. And there's an outer source trying to take over that energy and turn it into a dark energy instead of a good energy. And it's one person's journey to save the planet, like a common story, and the characters that he meets on the way. And as he meets the characters, they're linked to the energy of the planet as well. So you get more ideas of how everything is connected as the story goes along. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there is a hero. He doesn't necessarily become the hero, but as a group, they all become a hero, and it's another adaptation to connection, and we should all be working together and enjoy the surroundings that you have. And that film actually was the first thing I wrote after Cardioidosaurus, and that's the reason why there's a bit of a hiatus between Cardiosaurus and the Lamb, which is about 10 years, because I was trying to make this film happen back then. And it's still on paper, still in screenplay writing. It just got selected in Chicago in one of the festivals there, so it's coming along. And in the meantime, while that film is trying to get out there in the world, these short films are being made as well. So that
Oh,
it's a long drive, but a very exciting drive because these other films are coming up as they go along. And there's been a couple more after Birds of a Feather. There's a little series called Pogo, which I've done the first episode of that. And Pogo he's got a little buddy, little plant, pot plant, and they help people. So the first episode is called Fat, and they're trying to help someone who's a little bit obese, who's getting picked on, try and help that person out to teach everybody that everyone's equal as well. So, and yeah, and there's another movie made called Mi Amore, which is a love tragedy. Initially, I made it where unfortunately someone dies in the film, but it was a little bit dark. So I'm actually redoing the ending and making it where
Hmm.
the person actually is saved.
I see. So I wish you best of luck with your feature film project, and its title is Barku's Amory. So you're
Yeah.
very good when it comes to original titles. Cardio Dinosaurs. Who does that? Who names film like that so that no one can pronounce it?
Well, you've got it now. Initially, yeah, it took a while, but you've actually got the pronunciation spot
Yeah,
on.
you have
Well
to
done.
practice before learning how to say it. And it's like, so which film you wanna buy a ticket to? You're like, cardio, do, zaur, that one. It's easier to say, the name of the director. It's like the one that's directed by Richie Valentino is the one.
Oh, there
That's the one.
you go.
Yes. And I know that originally you're from Uruguay, right?
Yes, I
Yes.
was born here. And
And
my family came over when I was quite young to Australia.
yeah,
Yeah.
I want to know about your background and its influence. Do you dance tango? First of all, and will your characters in your animated films ever dance tango?
Well, there was one wooden character which I actually filmed sort of halfway through, which was a dancer, and it was part tango, part modern, and he was dancing against a paper man. It was a competition between a wooden man and the paper man, and who would be the best. So, I didn't know finishing it because I had other ideas came into my head and I just started following through that. But I might get back to it. I do have a
Mhm.
lot of friends here who are tango dancers, so that spirit is quite alive here in Melbourne for sure. But yeah, my heart is definitely in South America as well. So I do visit it, every couple of years. Obviously, at the moment, it's been a bit of a pause with that, but I have
Mhm.
relatives there. So I go back and enjoy the essence of the South American
And the
love.
spirit, this Latin spirit, I mean, it's incredible. And what about Astor Piazzolla? Do you love his music? And would you like to use it as a soundtrack of one of your future projects?
Of course, yeah. I'm always up for collaborations. There's I do a bit of animation and video projecting for live theatre as well, live theatre productions, and there's a new one by a woman, Melka Stanhart, and she's written some poems. So she's just asked me to do some work with that. So collaborations are great, and I'm always. It's amazing what ideas that come in to grow that image and visual essence that you've created already. So
Hmm.
yeah, I wouldn't say no to that. Not at all. No.
Yes, and that's incredible. I mean, I would love to have a animated short film based on my short story. I've written a story about a koala, and since you're in Australia, you can make it. So later, I'll send it to you, and maybe one day we'll make a movie together. It's about to be published as a book
Absolutely.
this year. I would love to see it as a short film, uh, maybe narrative and maybe animated and maybe both because it's absolutely great. And I actually see it as a feature as well in the future. I love Australia and everyone from Australia. You guys are all positive, always with a good mood. Maybe it's because of nature, the beauty that you see, the ocean, and I mean, Everything is so beautiful there. The sunsets, how how big is the role of surroundings, in your art? You should be inspired by what you see. Is it does it play a big role, in your life?
Yeah, of course, of course. Yeah, everything that you see around you daily, or every minute, you're always taking in information. So
Yes.
I wouldn't doubt that at all, that you're getting ideas and inspiration from what you're seeing around you. Sure. I just spent a week away camping on the East Coast, which is
Mhm.
actually the first time for a while because of the whole lockdown thing. And it's, just sitting on the beach and watching the waves, turn over and seeing how they curve, and seeing the beautiful colored lorikeets and the wattle birds all, doing their play between each other for the same seeds and food, and uh, the crabs that are coming out of the sand while they're searching for space between each other, and walking into the water when you've got stingrays that you're just about to step on, and their shapes and their movements, everything. Definitely. And you come home and you wanting to start drawing and sketching those ideas straight away.
Yeah, of
Absolutely, I
course.
wouldn't know that as well.
And tell me about your favorite music. Is it Natalia Oreiro or maybe someone else?
Look, it's so so extensive. It's really hard to pinpoint one
Pink
certain thing.
Floyd.
I was definitely, for many years, I was definitely a Cure fan. I used to love listening to all their albums, and I was a big following of theirs. But there are so many. It's just it's impossible to list them all.
Yeah, just start with yourself, right? It's like if you listen to what you create, then it's really good, in my opinion. It's like the album I'll definitely buy is my album, first of all, right? That's how good it should be. So, and I also wanted to mention Jakarta trees, the purple trees in Australia. They are so beautiful,
Yeah,
absolutely fantastic. I mean, just seeing that will inspire you to make something beautiful. It's just heaven, I dream to go to Australia and to work and actually live in the zoo and then next to koalas and kangaroos and just walk under Jakarta trees. So that will inspire me for sure. It inspires me on a distance, and no doubt it will inspire me in person, like live. So, what's the first destination, first place you'll go when the borders open?
As in the borders in Australia or borders overseas?
Internationally, like maybe Uruguay, or what's the first place you'd love to visit when life will get back to normal in February? So, like, in 1 month, that's my prediction. This year should be great.
Well, I would definitely say Uruguay for sure. Yeah.
Uruguay. I see.
But then I have, well, yeah, because the way we connect now is, through WhatsApp or Instagram and Facebook. And yeah, we have a really big family connection in WhatsApp. So everyone posts things and talking, in Spanish and English. And I miss it. I do miss it. So I think that would probably be the first place to go. In
Mhm.
Uruguay, I've got family in Montevideo, the capital, and Punta del Este, which is the beach town. And I've got so many memories and loves of history there already. So I think, yeah, Uruguay will be the
Mhm.
first for sure.
Yes, I see, I see. So I wish you best of luck with your short film, The Birds of a Feather, and with your upcoming feature project. I mean, whatever takes a lot of time will stay in the history, in my opinion. If you invest so much energy, so many years in a project, uh,
Mm.
it will turn out greater than you expect. You'll get way more than you hoped for, originally, in the beginning of the project. So I have a project like that on my own, that I produce like for 12 years. It's too expensive to make it fast and, to find partners easily, it's really hard. But if you stay true to your dreams, if you never cheat on your dreams, then they will definitely come true. So never cheat on your dreams, just as Eugene O'Neill said, and they will come true. So best of luck to you, and
Thank you.
hopefully we'll collaborate in the close future.
Oh, I love to hear your story about the koala. Absolutely.
So my koala, I love my koala. So, and actually there are a few characters, but main character is a koala, and Isla, the zookeeper, and I'm the zookeeper. That's my dream job. So, and there is a book coming up based on my short story, and an artist, Boris Lisikov, made a like me as a character, and you can see that that's me. So you can recognize me with koala, and it's so cool to see myself in a children's book. It's like, okay, and as I said to him, in the book about koala, the main thing is me. I should look like me. So, as much as I love koala, there is only one person I love more. It's me. So make sure people can recognize me. Anyone can draw koala, but not everyone
I
can draw me.
Yeah.
So if you can draw my features and make me recognizable, you are a truly outstanding artist. So can't wait to collaborate. So nice meeting you, Richie Valentino. And actually, your name reminded me Richie Valens. Resembles. I remembered his name and his music because of like Richie Valentino, Richie Valens.
Yeah.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Remember? Yes.
There's an old I think 1920s, silent film actor called Valentino as well. He was very famous.
Rodolfo Valentino.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes. And you know what? I was at his grave. It's my hobby to go to cemeteries of outstanding people. I don't visit relatives. I only visit outstanding people, famous people's graves. So I went to Hollywood Forever Cemetery. It was just like in the backyard of my house. In a way, it was so close. That was the first place I went to, and there was a grave of Rodolfo Valentino, and it's one of two graves where you can see a lot of lipsticks, like signs of a lipstick, like kisses all over it. He's
Wow.
popular. Women are crazy about him. And the second grave at another cemetery was Marilyn Monroe's. Also, a lot of people come, kiss, and like visit again and again. So like they are the real sex symbols
Yeah.
still, I can tell, I was at both cemeteries and I saw like thousands of graves, and these two are the most popular. So Rodolfo Valentino, oh, he was so attractive and so talented, and
Yeah.
superstar of silent movies. And my favorite ballet dancer, Rudolf Nureyev, played Rodolfo Valentino in a
There you
movie.
go.
Yes,
Wow.
so
Yeah.
they both are
Yeah.
Rudolphs, One is Valentino, another is Nureyev, but both are brilliant. So, and it's really important to have someone outstanding to play you in the movie, right? So, the cast was great in that film. As a casting director, I can tell. So, thank you so much for your time. And
Thank you.
it was a pleasure to have you here on our IG Live series. And best of luck with your projects. And I hope soon I'll say our project, and together Australia will present our animated short.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I loved it.
Yes, me too. Bye.
Bye.